Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our channel English Avenue. Today, we are going to talk about a very serious, emotional, and important topic: truth about toxic parents. This topic is not easy, because when we hear the word parents, we usually think about love, safety, care, protection, and home. But the truth is, not every home feels safe. Not every parent knows how to love in a healthy way. Not every family gives peace. Sometimes the same people who should protect a child's heart become the reason that child feels afraid, ashamed, confused, and broken inside. This video is not made to spread hate against parents. This video is not made to disrespect family. This video is made to understand the truth. Because many people grow up in toxic homes and still blame themselves. They think, maybe I am too sensitive. Maybe my pain is not real. Maybe this is normal. Maybe all families are like this. Maybe I deserve this treatment. But no. Your pain is real. Your emotions matter. And unhealthy behavior does not become healthy just because it comes from family. This topic is important because childhood does not stay only in childhood. The way parents treat children can affect their confidence, relationships, self-worth, mental peace, choices, and future life. A child who is constantly criticized may grow into an adult who doubts everything. A child who is controlled may grow into an adult who fears freedom. A child who is emotionally blackmailed may grow into an adult who feels guilty for having boundaries. A child who is physically abused may grow into an adult who carries silent fear in the body and mind. That is why we need to talk about this. Not to create anger, but to create awareness. Not to blame forever, but to heal honestly. Not to stay in pain, but to break the cycle. If you've grown up with toxic parenting, this video can help you understand your feelings more clearly. If you are a parent, this video can help you understand how powerful your words and actions are. If you are a young person, this video can help you protect your mind and build self-respect. Before we continue, I want to say something clearly. Not all parents are toxic. Many parents love their children deeply. Many parents sacrifice their comfort, time, money, and dreams for their children. Many parents try their best, even if they are not perfect. So this video is not against all parents. This video is not made to create hate. This video is for people who grew up with control, shame, fear, emotional blackmail, abuse, constant criticism, or no emotional safety at home. This video is for people who love their parents, but still feel hurt by their behavior. This video is for people who are confused because society says, they are your parents, but their heart says, I am not okay. This video is for awareness, healing, and breaking the cycle. Because respecting parents does not mean denying your pain. And loving family does not mean accepting toxic behavior forever. And while watching this video, you can also practice your English with me. Listen carefully. Repeat useful words like toxic, healthy, shame, confidence, control, emotional blackmail, abuse, boundaries, healing, trauma, respect, and peace. If you enjoy honest, meaningful, and helpful videos like this, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and keep learning with me. And one important note, if someone is facing serious abuse or danger, please talk to a trusted person, a teacher, a relative, a counselor, or local support service. You do not have to suffer silently. Truth 1. Toxic shame and healthy shame. This is very important to understand. Healthy shame is normal. Healthy shame tells you, I made a mistake. I should correct my behavior. I need to learn. I can do better next time. Healthy shame is connected to action. It helps you grow. For example, if a child lies, a parent can teach the child that lying is wrong. The child may feel sorry. The child may learn honesty. That is healthy correction. But toxic shame is different. Toxic shame does not say, you made a mistake. Toxic shame says, you are the mistake. This is deeply damaging. Toxic parents often attack the child's identity, not only the child's behavior. They may say, you are useless, you are stupid, you are a burden, you always ruin everything, you will never become anything. These words do not teach, they wound. A child who hears these words again and again may begin to believe them. They may grow up thinking, I am not good enough, I am difficult to love, I am always wrong, my feelings do not matter. This is how toxic shame enters the heart. It becomes an inner voice. Even after the parent is not speaking, the child may still hear that voice inside. This is why toxic shame is dangerous. It makes a person hate themselves for simply existing. A healthy parent corrects behavior with love. A toxic parent destroys self-worth through shame. There is a big difference. Correction says, what you did was wrong, but you can learn. Toxic shame says, you are wrong as a person. A child needs guidance, but a child also needs dignity. A child needs discipline, but a child also needs emotional safety. A child can learn from mistake without being humiliated. So remember this truth. You are not your parents' cruel words. You are not the shame they placed on you. You may have made mistakes, but you are not a mistake. Healing begins when you separate your real identity from the toxic shame you were given. Truth 2. Toxic parents can damage your confidence. Confidence does not come only from talent. Confidence is also built from the way a child is treated. When a child is encouraged, listened to, supported, and respected, they slowly learn. My voice matters. My effort matters. I can try. I can learn. I am allowed to grow. But when a child is constantly criticized, compared, ignored, or insulted, confidence becomes weak. Some parents think harsh words make children stronger. But many times, harsh words do not create strength. They create fear. They create self-doubt. They create emotional distance. A toxic parent may say, look at other children. Why can't you be like them? You always fail. You are not smart enough. You cannot do anything properly. When a child hears comparison again and again, the child stops seeing their own value. They start measuring themselves through other people. They become afraid to try because they fear criticism. They become afraid to speak because they fear rejection. They become afraid to dream because they think they will fail. This is how confidence gets damaged. The child may grow up and still need approval for every decision. They may overthink simple choices. They may feel nervous around authority figures. They may say sorry too much. They may hide their talents. They may feel uncomfortable receiving praise. Why? Because deep inside, they were trained to doubt themselves. Toxic parents may not always understand the damage they are doing. But damage is still damage. A child needs correction, yes, but correction should not kill confidence. A child needs discipline, yes, but discipline should not destroy self-worth. True parenting should help a child become stronger, not smaller. So if toxic words damage your confidence, understand this. Your low confidence is not proof that you are weak. It may be proof that you are not emotionally supported enough. And now, you can rebuild. Slowly. With better self-talk. with small, brave actions, with safe people, with learning, with healing, with respect for yourself. Confidence can be damaged, but confidence can also be rebuilt. Truth 3. Control is not love. This is one of the biggest truths about toxic parents. Many toxic parents use the word love to control their children. They say, "I am doing this for your good. I know better than you. You must listen to me. You cannot make your own choices. As long as you live here, your life belongs to us." But love and control are not the same. Love guides. Control traps. Love protects. Control dominates. Love gives wisdom. Control removes freedom. Love helps a child become strong. Control keeps a child dependent and afraid. Parents should guide children, especially when they are young. That is natural. Children need safety. They need rules. They need direction. But as children grow, they also need space to think, choose, learn, and become themselves. A toxic parent does not allow this. A toxic parent may control clothes, friends, studies, career, marriage, emotions, dreams, and even thoughts. The child starts feeling, "I cannot be myself. I cannot say what I really feel. I cannot choose my life. If I disagree, I am a bad child." This is painful. Because when control is called love, the child becomes confused. They think love means pressure. Love means fear. Love means losing freedom. Love means obeying even when the heart is suffering. But healthy love does not destroy individuality. Healthy love says, "I will guide you, but I will not own you. I will protect you, but I will also respect you. I will advise you, but I will not force your whole life." Control creates fear. Love creates safety. Control creates silence. Love creates honest communication. Control creates rebellion or weakness. Love creates responsibility. So remember this. If someone controls you, threatens you, silences you, and calls it love, it does not automatically make it healthy love. You can respect your parents and still understand that control is not love. You can love your family and still need freedom. You can be grateful for what they did and still admit that some behavior hurt you. That honesty is not disrespect. It is awareness. Truth 4. Emotional blackmail is not care. Emotional blackmail happens when someone uses guilt, fear, silence, tears, anger, or emotional pressure to control your choices. In toxic families, this is very common. A parent may say, "After everything I did for you, you are doing this to me? If you love me, you will obey me. You are selfish. You will regret this when I die. You only care about yourself. You are breaking my heart." These words can make a child feel trapped. The child may stop making healthy choices because they feel guilty. They may sacrifice their peace to avoid hurting the parent. They may say yes when their whole heart wants to say no. This is emotional blackmail. And it is not care. Real care does not force love through guilt. Real care does not control through fear. Real care does not punish a child for having a voice. Emotional blackmail is powerful because children naturally want to love their parents. They do not want to hurt them. They do not want to disappoint them. So when parents use guilt, the child feels responsible for the parent's emotions. But listen carefully. A child is not responsible for managing a parent's every feeling. A child can be respectful, but they cannot live their whole life as an emotional servant. Healthy parents can feel disappointed and still speak maturely. Toxic parents make their disappointment feel like a weapon. They may use silence. They may stop talking for days. They may act like the child is cruel. They may turn the whole family against the child. This creates emotional fear. And over time, The child learns to abandon themselves just to keep peace. But that is not real peace. That is survival. Emotional blackmail teaches a person to choose guilt over truth. Healing teaches a person to choose honesty with respect. So remember this. You can love your parents without obeying every emotional pressure. You can care about their feelings without destroying your own life. You can say no with respect. You can choose peace without becoming heartless. Emotional blackmail is not love. It is control wearing the mask of care. Truth 5. Parental physical abuse is never normal. This truth must be said clearly. Physical abuse is not love. Physical abuse is not healthy discipline. Physical abuse is not for your own good. Physical abuse is violence. And violence can leave deep wounds in the body, mind, and soul. Some people grow up hearing, "They hit you because they love you." This is normal in families. We also experience this. It made us strong. You should forget it. But pain does not become healthy just because it is common. A child may obey after being hit. But obedience from fear is not the same as learning from respect. Physical abuse can make a child afraid of home, afraid of mistakes, afraid of speaking, afraid of asking questions, afraid of being honest. It can also create anger, anxiety, shame, low confidence, and trauma. Some children become silent. Some become aggressive. Some become people pleasers. Some learn to hide everything. Some grow up thinking love and violence are connected. That is very dangerous. Discipline should teach. Abuse only terrifies. Discipline corrects behavior. Abuse damages safety. Discipline can be firm, but abuse crosses the line into harm. A child needs boundaries, rules, and guidance. But a child also needs protection from fear and violence. If a parent cannot control their anger and uses physical force to hurt the child, that is not healthy parenting. It is abuse. And if you experience this, please understand, it was not your fault. You did not deserve violence. You deserved safety. You deserved patience. You deserved guidance without fear. This does not mean you must live with hate forever. Healing may include forgiveness for some people. But forgiveness does not mean denying the truth. Forgiveness does not mean calling abuse normal. Forgiveness does not mean allowing the same harm again. The truth must be named before healing can begin. If someone is still facing physical abuse, they should not stay silent. They should reach out to a trusted adult, teacher, counselor, relative, local support service, or emergency help if needed. Your safety matters. Your body matters. Your peace matters. No child should feel unsafe in the place they call home. And no one should be forced to call violence love. Truth 6. How to recognize narcissistic patterns. First, understand this clearly. We should not casually diagnose someone as a narcissist. A real diagnosis should be done by a trained mental health professional. But we can still recognize unhealthy patterns. And in toxic families, narcissistic patterns can hurt children very deeply. A narcissistic parent often cares more about control, image, ego, and being right than about the child's real emotions. From outside, they may look responsible. They may look respected. They may look like a good parent in front of people. But inside the home, the child may feel unseen, unheard, and emotionally unsafe. This is one of the most confusing parts. The world may praise the parent, but the child knows another truth. The parent may act kind outside, but cruel inside. They may smile in public, but shame the child in private. They may care about reputation more than the child's pain. That is why children of narcissistic parents often feel confused. They ask themselves, why does everyone think they are so good? Why am I the only one who feels hurt? Maybe I am the problem. This confusion is part of the damage. A narcissistic pattern often includes blame shifting. They do something hurtful, but instead of accepting it, they blame you. If they shout, they say you made them angry. If they insult you, they say you are too sensitive. If they hurt you, they say they were only trying to help. If you speak the truth, they say you are disrespectful. Slowly, the child starts doubting their own reality. This is very dangerous, because when a child cannot trust their own feelings, they become easier to control. Another pattern is lack of empathy. Empathy means the ability to understand another person's feelings. A healthy parent may not always agree with the child, but they still care about the child's emotional pain. A narcissistic parent may see the child's pain as an attack. If the child says, "You hurt me," the parent may not listen. They may say, "After everything I did for you, you are blaming me?" So the child's pain is ignored, and the parent becomes the victim. This is emotionally exhausting, because the child is hurt, but still forced to comfort the parent. Another pattern is image obsession. The parent may care deeply about what relatives, neighbors, society, or outsiders think. They may say, "What will people say? Do not make us look bad. Do not tell anyone family matters. Act normal outside." This teaches the child to hide pain for the sake of family image. But a family that protects image more than truth creates silent suffering. A child should not have to pretend everything is fine just to protect a parent's reputation. Another pattern is conditional love. Conditional love means love is given only when the child behaves the way the parent wants. If the child obeys, they receive approval. If the child disagrees, love becomes cold. The parent may stop talking. They may insult. They may punish emotionally. They may withdraw affection. This teaches the child, "I am loved only when I obey." That is not healthy love. Healthy love can correct. Healthy love can guide. But healthy love does not disappear every time the child becomes honest. The deepest damage of narcissistic parenting is this. The child grows up feeling responsible for the parent's ego. They learn to read moods. They learn to stay quiet. They learn to apologize even when they are not wrong. They learn to shrink themselves so the parent does not explode. And later, as adults, they may struggle to know who they really are. So remember this truth. If a parent always needs to be right, never accepts mistakes, attacks your feelings, protects image more than truth, and makes you feel guilty for having your own mind, that is not healthy parenting. That is a pattern you need to recognize. Recognition is the beginning of freedom, because once you see the pattern, you stop blaming yourself for everything. Truth 7. Ways families influence children to choose bad partners. This is a painful truth that many people do not understand. A child's first idea of love usually comes from home. Before a child falls in love with anyone outside, the child learns love inside the family. They watch how parents speak. They watch how anger is handled. They watch how respect is given or removed. They watch how conflict happens. They watch whether love feels safe or scary. And slowly, the child's heart learns a pattern. If the home is healthy, the child may learn. Love should feel safe. Love should include respect. Love should allow honest communication. Love should not be full of fear. But if the home is toxic, the child may learn something very different. They may learn, love means control. Love means jealousy. Love means shouting. Love means guilt. Love means silent treatment. Love means begging for attention. Love means accepting pain to keep someone close. This becomes dangerous later, because when that child grows up, they may feel attracted to people who repeat familiar pain. Not because they want pain, but because pain feels familiar. Sometimes people do not choose what is healthy. They choose what feels normal. And if childhood was full of emotional chaos, calm love may feel boring at first. Respect may feel strange. Space may feel like rejection. Peace may feel unfamiliar. This is how family pain can affect romantic choices. A person who is ignored by parents may chase emotionally unavailable partners. A person who is controlled by parents may accept controlling partners. A person who is constantly criticized may stay with someone who insults them. A person who had to earn love may choose someone who makes love feel like a test. This is not stupidity. This is conditioning. The heart is repeating what it learned. The person may think, if I can make this person love me, maybe I will finally feel worthy. But that is the trap. You cannot heal childhood pain by choosing someone who repeats it. You heal by recognizing the pattern and choosing differently. This truth is very important because many people ask, why do I always choose the wrong person? Why do I ignore red flags? Why do I stay even when I am hurt? Why does healthy love feel uncomfortable? The answer may be hidden in the family system. Maybe love at home was mixed with fear. Maybe affection was inconsistent. Maybe you had to fight for attention. Maybe you were taught that your needs do not matter. Maybe you were never shown what peaceful love looks like. But the good news is this. A pattern learned in childhood can be unlearned in adulthood. You can learn what healthy love looks like. You can learn to choose respect over intensity. You can learn to choose peace over drama. You can learn to choose consistency over confusion. You can learn to walk away from people who feel familiar but harmful. This is healing. Healing does not only mean crying about the past. Healing also means choosing a different future. So before choosing a partner, ask yourself, does this person make me feel safe? Can I be honest with them? Do they respect my boundaries? Do they make me feel small or supported? Am I choosing love, or am I repeating pain? These questions can save your life, because the partner you choose can either help your healing or deepen your wounds. Truth 8. Extramarital affairs and their effect on children. When a parent has an affair, people often think it is only a problem between husband and wife. But children also feel the damage. Even if nobody explains everything, children can sense tension. They feel the silence. They feel the distance. They feel the anger. They feel the broken trust in the house. Children may not understand the full situation, but their nervous system understands that something is wrong. Home does not feel safe anymore. The child may start asking, why are they fighting? Is our family breaking? Did I do something wrong? Will one parent leave? Can I trust love? This is why affairs can affect children emotionally. A child needs stability. A child needs safety. A child needs to feel that home is not a battlefield. But when betrayal enters the family, the child may feel insecure. They may become anxious. They may become silent. They may become angry. They may become over-responsible. They may try to become the emotional support for one parent. And that is too much weight for a child. A child should not become the therapist of the family. A child should not be forced to choose sides. A child should not be used as a messenger between parents. A child should not hear adult details that their heart is too young to carry. One of the most damaging things is when parents pull the child into the conflict. One parent may say, "See what your father did," or "See what your mother did." The child becomes trapped between love and loyalty. They may feel guilty for loving both parents. They may feel pressure to hate one parent. This creates deep emotional confusion. Another effect is trust issues. When a child sees betrayal in the family, they may grow up thinking, love is not safe. Marriage cannot be trusted. People always leave. Commitment is fake. Later in life, this can affect their own relationships. They may become too suspicious, or they may accept unhealthy behavior because it feels normal, or they may avoid love because they fear betrayal. This is why parents must understand. Your choices do not affect only you. They affect the emotional world of your children. If a family is going through betrayal, the child needs protection from adult chaos. The child needs calm communication. The child needs reassurance. The child needs to know, this is not your fault. You are loved. You do not have to fix this. You are not responsible for adult decisions. That message is very important, because many children silently blame themselves when the family breaks. They think if they were better, parents would not fight. But children are not responsible for adult betrayal. Never. The truth is this: an affair breaks trust between adults, but it can also break a child's sense of safety. And if parents truly care about their children, they must handle the situation with maturity, honesty, responsibility, and protection. Do not turn children into weapons. Do not use them in revenge. Do not make them carry secrets. Do not make them choose sides. Protect their heart as much as possible, because childhood pain does not disappear just because adults refuse to talk about it. It stays, it shapes, it follows. But with honesty, support, and healing, the damage can be reduced. Children deserve truth in a safe way. They deserve love without being pulled into adult war. They deserve emotional safety, even when the family is struggling. Truth 9. Importance of space. In many toxic families, children are not given real space, not physical space, not emotional space, not mental space, not privacy, not freedom to think, not freedom to feel, not freedom to become their own person. Everything is watched. Everything is questioned. Everything is judged. Where are you going? Who are you talking to? Why are you quiet? Why are you happy? Why are you sad? Why did you close the door? Why do you need privacy? Why do you think differently? In a healthy family, space is understood. But in a toxic family, space is treated like disrespect. This is very painful, because every human being needs space to grow. A child is not a machine. A child is not property. A child is not an extension of the parent's ego. A child is a human being with a heart, mind, personality, dreams, emotions, and inner world. Space is not rejection. Space is oxygen for the soul. When parents do not give space, the child may feel trapped. They may feel like they cannot breathe emotionally. They may hide their thoughts. They may lie to protect themselves. They may stop sharing their feelings. They may become anxious when someone enters their room. They may feel guilty for needing alone time. This is what many people do not understand. When a child has no safe space, they do not become more obedient. They become more secretive. They do not become emotionally close. They become emotionally distant. They do not feel loved. They feel controlled. Healthy parents know the difference between protection and invasion. Protection means, I care about your safety. Invasion means, I must control every part of your life. Protection gives guidance. Invasion creates fear. Protection builds trust. Invasion destroys trust. A child needs space to understand themselves. They need space to think about their dreams. They need space to make small choices. They need space to make mistakes and learn. They need space to rest without being called lazy. They need space to feel emotions without being mocked. They need space to become themselves without being punished for it. This is very important because without space, a child may grow up not knowing who they are. They only know how to react to others. They only know how to please people. They only know how to avoid conflict. They only know how to survive. But they do not know their own voice. They do not know their own needs. They do not know their own boundaries. They do not know their own identity. That is why space is not a luxury. Space is necessary. If you grew up in a family where your privacy was never respected, understand this. Your need for space is not wrong. Your need for quiet is not wrong. Your need to think for yourself is not wrong. Your need to have your own dreams is not wrong. Your need to rest is not wrong. You can love your family and still need space. You can respect your parents and still need privacy. You can be grateful and still need freedom. Because love should not feel like a cage. Love should feel like safety. Truth 10. Boundaries are not disrespect. This is one of the most misunderstood truths in toxic families. Many toxic parents believe that a good child must always say yes, always obey, always be available, always explain everything, always sacrifice, always accept every word, always tolerate every behavior. And when the child says no, they call it disrespect. But boundaries are not disrespect. Boundaries are self-protection. A boundary means, this is what I can accept. This is what I cannot accept. This is how I want to be spoken to. This is what hurts me. This is where I need space. This is what I will no longer allow. Boundaries do not mean you hate your parents. Boundaries mean you are trying to protect your mental peace. This is very important. Because toxic families often teach children that love means having no limits. But love without limits becomes emotional slavery. If someone can insult you anytime, that is not love. If someone can control your whole life, that is not love. If someone can hurt you and then demand silence, that is not love. If someone can use guilt to control you, that is not love. Respect should go both ways. Parents deserve respect. But children also deserve respect. Being older does not give someone the right to destroy your peace. Being family does not give someone the right to hurt you again and again. Being a parent does not make every behavior correct. This truth is hard for many people to accept because they feel guilty. They think, if I set boundaries, I am a bad child. If I say no, I am selfish. If I protect my peace, I am ungrateful. But no, you can be a good person and still have boundaries. You can love someone and still limit their access to you. You can forgive someone and still not allow the same damage again. You can respect your parents and still refuse disrespectful treatment. A boundary can sound simple. Please do not shout at me. Please speak to me respectfully. I need some time alone. I cannot discuss this right now. I am not comfortable with this decision. I will not accept insults. I need to make this choice for my life. These sentences may look small, but for someone raised in a toxic home, they can feel terrifying. Why? Because toxic parents often punish boundaries. They may become angry. They may cry. They may call you selfish. They may stop talking. They may involve relatives. They may say you have changed. But sometimes you have changed simply means you are no longer easy to control. That is a painful but honest truth. When you start healing, some people will not celebrate your boundaries because your old silence benefited them. Your old fear made things easy for them. Your old guilt gave them control. So when you finally protect yourself, they may call it disrespect. But do not let guilt take you back to emotional prison. Boundaries are not walls of hate. Boundaries are doors with locks. They allow love to enter safely. But they stop disrespect from walking in freely. Healthy people may not always like your boundary at first, but they can learn to respect it. Toxic people often attack the boundary because they benefited from you not having one. So remember this: a boundary is not a weapon. It is a line of self-respect. And self-respect is not disrespect. Truth 11. Techniques to heal your trauma. Healing from toxic parents is not simple. It is not one quote. It is not one video. It is not one good day. Healing is a journey, because toxic parenting does not only affect your memories, it can affect your nervous system, your self-talk, your relationships, your confidence, your choices, your fear, your ability to trust, your ability to say no, your ability to feel safe. So healing must be gentle, honest, and consistent. The first healing technique is naming the truth. Many people cannot heal because they are still minimizing what happened. They say, "It was not that bad. They are my parents. Other people had it worse. Maybe I am too sensitive." But healing begins when you say the truth clearly. I was hurt. I was controlled. I was shamed. I was not emotionally safe. What happened affected me. This is not blaming forever. This is being honest. You cannot heal a wound you keep pretending does not exist. The second technique is separating their voice from your voice. Many people with toxic parents carry an inner critic. Inside their mind, they hear, "You are useless. You are not good enough. You will fail. You are selfish. You cannot survive alone." But many times, this is not your real voice. It is a voice you learned from toxic treatment. Healing means asking, "Is this really my belief? Or is this something I was taught to believe?" Then slowly replace it. Instead of, "I am useless," say, "I am learning and growing." Instead of, "I am selfish for having needs," say, "My needs matter too." Instead of, "I cannot do anything," say, "I can take one step at a time." This may feel strange at first, but your mind can be retrained. The third technique is journaling. Writing is powerful because it takes pain out of your mind and puts it on paper. When thoughts stay inside, they become heavy. When you write them, you begin to see them more clearly. You can write, "What hurt me? What did I need but never received? What am I still carrying? What do I want to believe about myself now? What boundaries do I need? What kind of person do I want to become?" Journaling helps you understand your emotions instead of being controlled by them. The fourth technique is finding safe people. Healing becomes easier when you have at least one safe person. A safe person listens without mocking you. A safe person does not use your pain against you. A safe person respects your emotions. A safe person does not force you to forgive before you are ready. A safe person helps you feel less alone. This person can be a trusted friend, relative, teacher, mentor, counselor, or therapist. If professional therapy is possible, It can be very helpful, especially for deep trauma, abuse, anxiety, depression, or emotional confusion. There is no shame in getting help. You do not have to heal alone. The fifth technique is learning body safety. Trauma is not only in thoughts. Sometimes trauma lives in the body. You may feel tension, fear, fast heartbeat, shaking, stomach pain, restlessness, numbness. You may react strongly to shouting, footsteps, silence, or certain words. That does not mean you are weak. It means your body learned danger. So healing also means calming the body. Breathe slowly, relax your shoulders, walk outside, drink water, sit in silence. Listen to calming sounds. Place your hand on your heart and remind yourself, I am safe in this moment. My past is not happening right now. I can breathe. I can return to peace. The sixth technique is grieving what you did not receive. This is very deep. Many people try to heal by saying, it is okay. But inside, they are still grieving. Maybe you did not receive emotional support. Maybe you did not receive gentle words. Maybe you did not receive protection. Maybe you did not receive appreciation. Maybe you did not receive a safe childhood. Healing means allowing yourself to feel that loss. You may need to cry for the child you were, the child who needed love, the child who needed safety, the child who needed someone to say, I see you, I hear you, you matter. You are not a burden. This grief is painful, but it is also freeing. Because when you grieve honestly, you stop pretending you were not hurt. The seventh technique is building a new life slowly. Healing is not only looking back, healing is also moving forward. Build routines that support you. Practice self-respect. Choose better relationships. Learn emotional regulation. Set small boundaries. Take care of your body. Learn skills. Create goals. Become financially and emotionally stronger where possible. Every healthy choice tells your mind, my life is not controlled by my past forever. This is powerful, because trauma may explain some of your pain, but it does not have to define your whole future. You can heal, you can grow, you can become peaceful, you can become different. Truth 12. Break the cycle and become different. This is the most powerful truth, because the goal is not only to understand toxic parents. The goal is to stop the pain from continuing. Many people who were hurt in childhood carry two dangers. One danger is becoming broken by the pain. The other danger is becoming the same kind of person who hurt them. This is why awareness is so important. If you do not heal what hurt you, you may repeat it. Maybe not in the same way, but in some form. You may become controlling because you were controlled. You may become emotionally cold because nobody comforted you. You may shout because shouting was normal at home. You may manipulate because guilt was used on you. You may choose toxic partners because chaos feels familiar. You may hurt your children because you never learned healthy love. This is how cycles continue. Pain passes from one generation to another. A parent was hurt by their parent. Then they hurt their child. Then that child grows up and hurts someone else. And everyone says, this is normal. But someone has to stand up and say, no, this ends with me. That person can be you. Breaking the cycle does not mean you had a perfect past. It means you refuse to create the same pain in the future. It means you learn what your family never taught you. You learn emotional maturity. You learn healthy communication. You learn self-control. You learn boundaries. You learn kindness. You learn apology. You learn respect. You learn how to love without control. You learn how to correct without shame. You learn how to be strong without being cruel. This is not easy, because when you break a cycle, you may feel lonely. You may be misunderstood. You may be called rebellious. You may be called too sensitive. You may be told, "We raised you like this, and you turned out fine." But deep inside, you know the truth. Surviving is not the same as being fine. Being functional is not the same as being healed. Smiling outside is not the same as having peace inside. So you decide, I will not normalize what wounded me. I will not romanticize pain. I will not call fear respect. I will not call control love. I will not call abuse discipline. I will not pass this poison to the next generation. That decision is powerful. That decision is brave. That decision can change the future of a family. Because when one person heals, the chain begins to weaken. When one person speaks honestly, silence begins to break. When one person chooses boundaries, the next generation learns self-respect. When one person chooses kindness, love becomes safer. When one person becomes different, the family story can begin to change. Breaking the cycle does not mean you become perfect. You may still make mistakes. You may still feel triggered. You may still struggle. You may still have days when the old pain comes back. But the difference is this: you are aware. You are trying. You are learning. You are not proudly continuing the damage. You are choosing growth. And that makes you different. So if you came from a toxic family, remember this: you are not cursed to repeat the same story. You are not trapped forever inside the pain that raised you. You can become softer without becoming weak. You can become strong without becoming cruel. You can love without controlling. You can protect yourself without hating everyone. You can build a peaceful life, even if you did not grow up in a peaceful home. The cycle can end with you. The shame can end with you. The fear can end with you. The silence can end with you. The violence can end with you. The emotional blackmail can end with you. The unhealthy love can end with you. And one day, someone may feel safe because you chose to heal. Someone may feel loved because you chose to become different. Someone may grow up peacefully because you refuse to pass forward what broke you. That is real strength. Not revenge, not hate, not bitterness, but healing so deeply that the pain does not continue through you. You do not have to become the pain that raised you. You can become the peace that was missing.